Hello, and welcome to yet another tutorial of how to make a character sheet in Fantasy Grounds Unity ADnD 2nd Edition. I'm going to continue on with our creation of Noober the Fighter. Last video we talked about the skills tree, or skills tab, excuse me, and now we are going to go into the inventory tab. This is where all of your equipment is going to be, and it will tell you some information about encumbrance if your DM uses the encumbrance rules. So let's just go ahead and start on the second tab here, actually your treasure. So I'm just going to fill in a couple key pieces of information here. So you want to make sure that you fill out TP, GP, EP, SP, and CP. Not familiar with ADnD? These are the different coin types. Whenever you gain treasure from your DM through a treasure parcel, or just assigning it, Fantasy Grounds Unity is going to look for these acronyms. If it sees them, it will drop that money into this box for you. PP stands for platinum pieces, GP is gold pieces, EP is electrum, SP is silver, and CP is copper. And if you have any other miscellaneous coinage that your DM likes to use, you got an extra slot for that as well. And we're going to go into actually assigning some money to start with. So to find that out, let me go back to the main tab real quick, and we're going to click on the fighter. I'm going to open up the fighter class record and scroll down to the bottom. And we want to know how much money we start with. If we look at general tables, in table 43 we see initial character funds. We click on that, we can see that we fall under the warrior group. We gain 5d4 times 10 gold pieces at the start. And close that. And we're going to go back to our inventory tab. 5d4, you can either right click on the d4 down here and click on 5 times, or you can left click and hold and right click to add dice. Simply drop the dice in there. We got a 12, multiply it by 10, adding, giving us a sum of 120 gold pieces, which we will click on this box and add in. Now we have our initial funds. Well, going back to our skills tab, we know that we specialize in the longsword, so we probably want that weapon first. We go to the inventory tab here, pull up the longsword. It is 15 gold pieces, so we will close that. Simply drag the longsword over to your character sheet, and you will need to manually adjust your gold pieces here. 105. What I would recommend, obviously, is just writing down how much everything costs and tallying it up at the end. I'm not going to get too much into the adjustment of the coinage, but you will need to adjust these as you go along. So, for now, just to demonstrate, we are going to add a longsword. We are going to add a short bow. And we are going to add, let's do some studded leather. And you can see that nothing came up for studded leather. So sometimes it is a good idea to not be so specific when you write something in the filters. So if we just write studded, we get nothing. And that is because we have a type down here of weapon. So just make sure you're looking around at everything to see what's going on. But if we click on the blank up here, now we can see studded leather. We have no filters. I'm going to drag studded leather over here. Now, something I want to show you, now that we have the studded leather on, you can see that these little icons over here show that everything is equipped. You toggle through these, not carried, it's blank. The bag shows it is carried, but it is not equipped. And the armor icon shows that it is equipped. If you look down here at the encumbrance, if we put it at not carried, it actually decrements the current weight carried. We are going to actually put it at equipped for the moment so that I can show you what that does to our main tab. You can see our armor class has dropped to 7. Now if we go back to the inventory tab and we unequip it to just carried, go back to the main tab, our armor class has increased to 10. Very powerful tool. So all you need to do to put your armor on is simply make sure that it is equipped, and Fantasy Grounds will handle the rest. Now if you had a magic suit of armor that had other bonuses, then that would all get updated as well automatically. Now as a player, you can only edit certain pieces of information. You can edit the price, you can edit the weight, and some general information in here. For armor, this is not so important. It may be more important for things like weapons, which we will get into right now. So if we go back to the skills tab, now that we have an actual longsword, we want to make sure that we are proficient in that weapon. So if we click on the gear here, you can see that now the longsword and the short bow have both appeared. Well, we specialize in longsword, so we want to make sure that when we have the specialized longsword skill open, that we click on the little bubble next to longsword. This weapon proficiency is applied to the attack when checked. If you do not do this, you will receive the non-proficiency penalty when you make your attack rolls. So make sure you do this. And also make sure you do this for the correct proficiency. Close this, and we want to make sure that we are proficient in the short sword. Well, we don't have one. And the short bow. And let's check short bow. The short bow does not get a hit or damage bonus because we are not proficient, or we are not specialized in that weapon. Close this window, go back to the inventory tab, and just kind of look over our stuff. Everything looks good here, so we are done. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.